On this episode of LARP Chats, we have Kormac. We talk about how he views Amtgard in the award system, specifically the individual knighthood paths. You'll learn about why people sometimes call him the Doombell guy. You'll also find out what Kormac hopes for the future of Amtgard and find out why he started the Kilted Dwarf. There's even a brief discussion on running battle games. If you enjoy the content, consider liking the video and please consider subscribing to the channel for more LARP content. You can also support me on Patreon by becoming a patron, link in the description below. Now, let's get to the episode. So today on LARP Chats, we have Kormac, who's been playing the game for 16 years?
About, yeah, since 2006.
Yeah, that's a while. What is Amtgard to you?
Amtgard to me is, it's not only a really fun game, it's a sense of community. It's a place for like-minded people to come together and just do something incredibly dorky without shame or judgment. And it's been my number one hobby since I was 18.
Oh, it's a lifelong hobby then, isn't it?
About, yeah.
Yeah. What do you find fun about Amtgard?
Fighting.
Fighting?
Yeah, fighting in battle games is the most fun thing to me. Especially when there's like sprinkled in with role play and themes, like coming out and playing like, just Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, the standard player versus player games that we play. Those are fun and all, but I like when there's an added flavor to them. Like, if we're doing like right now we're doing a Game of Thrones theme. So like a lot of the games on the surface will be similar, but there'll be like kind of a twist to them, like a flavor added because, there'll be an added thing of like the White Walkers are attacking and we need to defend Castle Black and things like that.
You like playing battle games, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
So what classes or class do you really like to play the most? Or
well, when I first started the game, like most people, I was an assassin. Those were my Ninja Nick days, as a lot of older players are aware of. When version 8 came around, the classes changed so much that I no longer knew how to play assassin, and I kind of thought, this is as good a time as any to reinvent myself. So I invested in a lot of armor, as you can see, and I started playing warrior. So I liked warrior a lot because I wasn't the best fighter, so being able to take a lot of hits was good for me because I wasn't good at parrying at the time. Having a big shield also helped. Eventually, I got good enough at that to earn my Paragon hood in it. And
yeah, I was there for that. It was
that was
a good day.
That was quite something. Me and Taraka got them at the same time because of our epic battlefield duel. That was a good day. And then sometime after that, Paladin and Anti-Paladin got opened up to the rest of the community, no longer just for the knights, brought it back to the people.
Yep.
And so I've been doing Paladin and Anti-Paladin a lot. I switch back and forth between them, and I gotta say, they're really fun classes.
Yeah, it's nice that they open it up so there's more armor classes.
Yeah.
Other than just, warrior, pretty much.
I was kind of worried that it was going to cause like a bloat of people playing Paladin and Anti-Paladin and it would no longer be special because, I kind of liked the idea of it being a prestige class at the time, but I'm actually glad that they opened it up. I have a lot of fun with it. It's changed the dynamic of the game greatly, and I think it's overall positive.
Yeah, I agree. Amtgard isn't just a game where we play battles and stuff like that. There's also an award system. Mm-hmm. So what is your view on the award system?
I think the award system is a good thing. It helps incentivize people to really develop themselves, to push themselves possibly into things that might be outside their comfort zone, like, someone who maybe wants to get awards for crafting, they'll take up something like leatherworking, or or they'll do sewing because these are good skills to have in general life, but they're even better to have in this game when you can make your own costumes and be able to go out there and be like, hey, look at what I'm wearing, I made this myself. I do sometimes think that the push to get awards can be how do I put this? People put too much emphasis on getting awards. Like people, like it sometimes reaches a point where some people will do things specifically for the awards, and I myself, like I've won plenty of awards, and I'm happy to have them. But I've never done anything in this game specifically for the awards. I've always done them because I enjoyed them. And, getting an award or a very nice piece of commissioned artwork as a way of saying thank you for it is always nice. But, it can lead to some people might think that they have earned an award and they get overlooked because there's so many people doing so many things and you have to get recommended for them, that when someone gets regrettably overlooked, they can take that personally. And, I understand that, but I do think they should get their awards, but sometimes I'm a little bit like, well, you shouldn't be gunning for the awards themselves. You should be doing these things because they're enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a positive way to look at it, healthy way, I think.
Yes.
Because otherwise, when you feel like you're entitled, it can turn into a very negative feeling, and then
yes.
Then it makes the game not fun.
Yeah.
We have 5 different paths. We're going to talk about each one of them. What do you think of the flame path?
The flame path, and which one is that again?
That's smiths.
That's for
roses,
yeah.
And lions.
Okay, that's probably one. In my opinion, that's one of the. That's a really good path to take because, again, that is the thing that encourages people to get better at whatever their art is. Like, I, for example, have earned, I think I'm at 9 smiths, specifically for making battle games. Like, when I was champion of Dragon's Forge, and then when I was a 2-time champion of the Kingdom of Blackspire, I was always wanting to make new battle games, always wanted to do something that was better than the last one, something that people haven't seen before with like interesting dynamics to it. Apparently, like, it occurred to me not that long ago that I'm known as the Doom Bell guy. Whenever, yeah, for people who don't know, that's the one. It's ring the bell, but ringing the bell kills you. So, like, in order to score points for your team, you have to basically suicide yourself. That was a game that I pulled out of thin air because I couldn't think of anything else. It was at a winter bash. People ended up liking it so much that now when people run that game at other parks, they call it Kormac's Doom Bell. And I'm just like, am I the Doom Bell guy? I guess I am.
There's worse things to be known for.
Yes.
So there's also the Serpent Path, which is the arts and sciences paths. Dragons and owls and garbers. What do you think about that path?
That's, like, again, it's also a very good path to follow. It makes our game prettier. Like, it makes our game more impressive to look at. Because, like, even when we play in public places, people might stare at us and be like, what are these grown adults doing? But they might also be like, oh, that guy's costume is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need those. So then there's the sword path for fighting. What do you think of the sword path?
I think that is the natural conclusion of what being really good at Amtgard is. When you boil it all down, it's about who's the best at swinging this foam stick. So, of course, being really good at that and earning your knighthood through being able to beat anyone who steps on the field or into a tournament with you, I should say, because that's primarily how you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another thing that's a good thing to strive for. People who love it's good for people who love competition, and yeah, that's a good path to take. I'm not taking it.
No?
No.
Did you ever want to?
Maybe at one point, but like I don't think I'm willing to dedicate as much time into really studying the blade to get really good at it. I'm not a particular fan of tournaments. Like, tournaments are fine. I like them, and they're fun for people, but more often than not, if I'm in a tournament, I'm just like, I'm gonna sit out.
Yeah. So then there's the Crown Path, which got reworked here a couple years ago. So it's more of a ladder award rather than just a point-based award. So what do you think of the Crown Path, which is being in office?
Anyone who takes up a position in monarchy deserves recognition, because being in monarchy, you're essentially sacrificing your enjoyment of playing the game in order to ensure that the game is fun for others. And that is a very noble path to take.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah.
So there's the newest path, the path of battle, which you're also on.
Yes.
So what do you think of this new path, actually playing the game of Amtgard?
I say it's about time. Like, I always wondered, why aren't we recognizing people for just being a presence in battle? Like, they essentially the person, like when you go out there and people see that you're on the opposite team, they all lose heart just a little bit, because they're like, oh, that guy is such a res bot, or this person, they can, like, I've seen them take on 3 armored warriors as a peasant. Essentially it's almost like if you've ever played a tabletop war game, like they're the specialty unit, like they're Emperor Karl Franz or Grazkul Thraka. So yeah, being knighted and recognized for that to me is probably the most Amtgard of the Amtgard knights.
So the future of Amtgard, what are your hopes and aspirations for the game as we continue to play it going into the future?
I hope we continue to push the boundaries of what this game can be. There was a time early on when I was playing it where this was just a stick fighting club. Like, we would just come out, we'd have battle games, there'd be no theme, no plot, it was just fighting, which is all well and good, but I like that extra flavor to it. I hope we continue to push the roleplay aspect of it. I hope we find ways to make the game enjoyable for people who in our community who don't fight in battle games. We have lots of people who like to just come out and be present. They like to dress up. They like to hang out with people and just enjoy themselves. That's a major reason why the Kilted Dwarf exists.
Yes.
I kind of saw that, like, as Amtgard was getting better at daytime and battle game activities, I was like, there is no nightlife in Amtgard, really. There is no downtime that feels like Amtgard. It just feels like hanging with your buddies, which is all well and good. And I was just like, well, what's something that people can do that's low key and relaxed but still feels like a LARP? And the most obvious answer, I was just like, a tavern.
Yeah, it was a good choice.
Yeah, like, because even if people just come to the tavern to sit and hang out, which is what they were going to do anyway, at least they're doing it in an environment that feels appropriate.
I know I enjoy it.
Yeah, and is also welcoming to everyone.
So in the coming years, how do you personally plan to engage in Amtgard to maybe keep yourself active?
I do plan on being Kingdom Champion again, because when the pandemic happened and we couldn't do Amtgard for 2 years, I found myself thinking a lot about Amtgard, and I ended up writing whole new rule books. I wrote a rule book on how to conduct siege warfare in our game, like a easy way to do it. And I also wrote a rule book on how to run campaigns, like basically like just a series of battle games that all interconnect with one another. And my hope with it is that it'll organically add to the role play of the game.
Nice. It sounds like something that I look forward to seeing you put into action.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's still a work in progress. You've probably experienced this before, where like you create something and you're happy with it, but then the more you think about it, you start to be like, maybe maybe I need to change this.
Yeah,
You know,
frequently.
Yeah, like I need to just be brave enough to play test it, watch it completely fall apart, and then be like, okay, I know what I need to fix.
Yeah, that's part of Smith work.
Yeah,
Trial and error.
Which actually did happen once at this park. I play tested my siege warfare rules, and it was a disaster. Like, there was just certain things that on paper sounded like they were going to work good, and then I ran the siege battle, and the attacking army overtook the defending army within 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Because there was just things that I did not account for, and things that, like I said, sounded good on paper, but in execution did not work.
Well, it sounds like a good learning experience.
I learned a lot from it.
So I'd like to thank Kormac for joining us here on LARP Chats, and I hope to catch you next time.
Thank you.